Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
Machine, and it comes out like you're facing that pitcher. So yeah, not exactly game action, but close to it.
Well, that was game action right there. Oh boy, he tanked this one. Deep drive left center. Field, Julio, yeah!
It was the final day of May and the final day of a 3-game set between the Yankees and the Mariners from Seattle. The offense was blazing in the first 2 games, and they looked to keep it going in Game 3, but they really had their hands full. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Welcome to June, everybody. Today is officially June 1st, 12:14 a.m. in the East. If you guys subscribe to the audio version of this podcast, you know that I try and give each episode a fun title. Tonight's episode is going to be Sleepless in Seattle. Extra innings on the West Coast. And look, unpopular opinion, I think they should start showing the fans that run on the field, especially in a 0-0 game, because it's more fun to watch a fan get tackled by security than it is to watch the pitcher reacting to the whole situation. Welcome back, everybody. That wraps up the series. Yankees took the series 2-1, but they dropped a tough one tonight. The streak of 10-run games has been snapped. Tonight was a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. Every pitcher was tremendous tonight. Next game will be Friday night in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. First pitch is at 10:10 p.m. Both weekend games will be at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And the Yankees will be getting back 3 pieces: Giancarlo Stanton, Josh Donaldson, and Tommy Kahnle. It'll be interesting to see how the roster shakes out. You have to think that Franchi Cordero's going down. Matt Crook is probably going to go down. Oswaldo Cabrera probably going to get sent down. I would send down Cabrera over Calhoun right now because Calhoun's at least been swinging the bat. And honestly, Cabrera probably needs a few weeks of regular at-bats to get his swing path back. Call him up when he gets hot. A few issues tonight. Obviously, the offense was non-existent. We had Rizzo supposedly available to pinch hit, but he didn't get an opportunity. But first, I want to talk about Oswald Peraza in the minor leagues. He's probably a guy who should have been on that plane to Los Angeles. Hit 2 more home runs tonight. He's got 9 on the season now. I believe the broadcaster said that he's got 6 in his last 7 games. So he is scalding hot. But, just having watched the Yankees over the years, I'm guessing they call him up the minute he begins to cool off. Maybe put him in the lineup sporadically for a couple of weeks and ruin both his confidence and his trade value. And then they'll send him back down. That's just my prediction instead of taking advantage of a hot streak. But look, the Yankees scored 10 runs each of the last 2 nights. You didn't think that they necessarily needed an influx of offense tonight, but turns out they did. If I'm the Yankees, I give Josh Donaldson maybe a week or 2 to show me something. And if he doesn't get it going and make an impact right away, I think you have to make the switch. He's at the point in his contract where you really don't owe him that much more. You're going to have to let him go. All right, on to tonight's game. There's not a whole lot to recap. Games like tonight are typically the most difficult to recap because not a lot of stuff happened outside of 2 very good pitching performances. We had Clark Schmidt on the mound. Last couple of times out, he's been better. Not great, but better. Well, tonight he was great. Tonight he had the best stuff that I've seen from him maybe ever. Maybe in his entire Yankees career. The slider was sharp. The sweeper. It's a slurve. That's what we always called it. We don't need to rename it now. The curveball was sharp. Even the cutter had some late hard movement, more than we've seen from him. I don't know. Both pitchers were phenomenal. Maybe it was the barometric pressure. I don't know. George Kirby threw 8 shutout innings. He was just filthy. Yankees had no chance. One way, though, that you can measure how well a pitcher is throwing the ball is number of swings and misses. And Clark Schmidt had 14 swings and misses tonight. That's something he usually doesn't get. I mean, he gets strikeouts, but he was getting swings and misses on all of his pitches tonight. So 5 2/3 innings, gave up just 3 hits, 1 walk, struck out 7. Best start of the season for him. Give us a few more like that until Carlos Rodon comes back, and we should be in business. So like I said, not a lot to recap on this one. I'm going to try and buzz through this because I know it's 12:20 in the morning, and I don't want to keep everybody up too late. Gleyber Torres made a nice web gem to close out the 2nd inning and a very nice play to close out the 3rd inning. He also got the Yankees' first hit of the game in the top of the 4th. He got thrown out trying to steal because his oven mitt slipped off the bag. But I've noticed a definite correlation between how well he hits and how well he plays defense. I don't have any StatCast data to back this up, but it just seems like when he's not hitting, his defense collapses. And when he's swinging the bat well, you see him make a lot more athletic and enthusiastic and rangy plays in the infield. It's like his mind is determined to, essentially shut down if he's not hitting. He loses focus and he's not there. But when he's swinging the bat well, he takes that out with him into the field. IKF has been hitting the ball hard lately. He hit one to the warning track that J-Rod made a great catch. Judge just missed a hanger, hit it right to the warning track. So the Yankees came close. Bottom of the 7th, Suarez hit one to the right field wall. Greg Allen tried to catch it, made an acrobatic attempt, but almost broke his neck when he slammed into the wall. Ended up being okay. Peralta did a fantastic job tonight, 2 scoreless innings. Clay Holmes had filthy stuff tonight. In the 10th inning, the Mariners shortstop made an error on the first play of the inning. Yankees ended up loading the bases. Anthony Volpe bounced out in a force out, and then Franchi Cordero pinch hit and struck out. They mentioned before the game and throughout the game that Rizzo was available to pinch hit. You could see him pinch hitting for either Volpe or Cordero there. That pitcher had a nasty slider, but Rizzo never took off his hoodie. And Franchi, of course, struck out. So I just don't know if Boone was gaslighting us or what.
A what?
But Franchi Cordero is not the guy to get it done there.
I'm an average nobody.
Mariners ended up walking it off in the bottom of the 10th.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Don't fail me again.
Sounds like Franchi's going to go down tomorrow or Friday whenever the Yankees play. So tough stint to come up and pinch hit and strike out in a key situation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box score. I'm going to buzz through this. Keep your comments coming. I see we've only got about 330 people in the chat tonight because, it is pretty late. So I'm going to move through this pretty quickly here. Let me go ahead and switch over to the highlights. Let's go ahead and watch through the highlights real quick while we're at this, because I do think it's worth looking at what Clark Schmidt did on the mound. And also, I didn't grab the walk-off hit because I didn't want to watch it 20 times. And I typically just want to, get these West Coast games, get the show on the road. Nobody wanted to wait around for that. A nice play by Gleyber Torres there, being rangy. This was an outside, looked like a cutter. That was the hard slider, bottom of the zone. He had very sharp stuff. This was the pitch, IKF, 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and he rips it, but J-Rod made a nice play to take away an extra base hit. Dylan says not looking forward to Donaldson. I don't blame you. Let's take a look at this box score here. So Yankees just got 3 hits in 10 innings. It is not what you want. Torres with a hit, LeMahieu with a bloop single, and Higashioka with a hit. That is all the Yankees got. Volpe, another tough night, 0-for-4, hitting 194. Cabrera did not get an at-bat, neither did Trevino. Allen 0-for-2 with a couple of strikeouts. Judge 0-for-3. He's dipped now below 300, but he'll be back up, I'm sure. Emmanuel Munoz says, this should have been a sweep. I agree. Gary Sanchez apparently hit a home run tonight. Nice job for him. Nice job. Aaron Hicks, I saw. I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but Aaron Hicks went, I believe, 2-for-2 today and had a walk and then left the game with an injury. He got picked up by the Orioles. And when he was 2 for 2, I was just like, oh my God, he's going to turn into Barry Bonds with the Orioles. But, you know, the injury bug bites non-Yankees too. Pamela says, sucks that we got shut out, but all in all, we beat up on some pretty good pitching in this series.
Bing.
I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing how they match up against the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been very hot. They just had a great May. They are in first place. The Yankees have some good pitching going this weekend. You got Severino going on Friday. I believe Garrett Cole going on Saturday. And then it must be Domingo Germán on Sunday. With this loss, the Yankees now 34-24, 6 games back in the American League East. Rays won today. Orioles lost today. Angry Thumb says, wasn't the most concerning loss? Must have been one of those games where you don't try. I feel like they were trying. I mean, look, Kirby just had fantastic stuff. Let's give credit where credit's due. He was filthy. His stuff was incredible. So, I mean, you know, sometimes you're as I like to say, sometimes you're the dog and sometimes you're the hydrant. But look, as Pamela said, the Yankees did beat up on some good pitching in this series at least.
Game over, man. It's game over.
We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to take a few more comments here. Parkson says 0 runs is unacceptable. That's baseball, man. Parkson always says stuff is unacceptable. Like, what are you going to do?
You gotta go. You
know?
gotta go.
It's just part of the game, man.
Most
Sometimes you
impressive.
get shut out. Every team gets shut out. Aaron L. says, this wasn't a horrific loss, and I agree. Sometimes you just run into a great pitcher. That's what happened tonight. Kirby was on his game. And I really do think that, you know, maybe the conditions do help out, you know, pitchers or hitters sometimes. You know, we know that sometimes the ball carries. We know that hot weather, the ball can travel. I'm not really familiar with physics enough to tell you what kind of weather, what kind of pressure, what kind of moisture in the air can affect pitching. But it seemed like everybody had outstanding stuff tonight. Like, tonight seemed like one of those nights where it was just destined that pitchers were going to pitch well. Demetrius says that Boone tried to lose it. I do think it's really weird that he didn't pinch hit Rizzo, especially saying that Rizzo was ready. You got a day off tomorrow. I mean, is one at bat going to kill him? If he can't take a pinch hit, I mean, what's he even doing on the roster? Why hasn't he been IL'd yet? I mean, I guess you're trying to get him that extra day, but to me, he wasn't even ready. He never took off the hoodie. He was just standing there talking to Judge the whole time. Skanky Trick says, did you see Sanchez is wearing number 99 for the Padres? Wishful thinking for the Kraken. Yeah, Judge kind of started that whole trend. You see a lot of guys wearing number 99 now. Tim W. says the Yankees are now 5-3 in extra inning games. I guess at least they're on top. With this Manfred man rule, you never quite know what you're going to get. You know, you could score on some, you know, essentially without getting a hit, you could score a run. Runner starts on second base. There's a wild pitch or two, you know, a ground out, and all of a sudden you get a run. So extra innings almost seem like a coin toss these days. Alex Castillo says Mariners are contenders, playoff team, and we made them look small. Well, I will say this: we didn't have to see Luis Castillo in this series, and if we did play them in the postseason, we would see Luis Castillo twice in a series, and he's their best pitcher, and he is filthy, and he's a guy that the Yankees refused to trade Anthony Volpe for last year, and he shut the Yankees down twice last year, once with the Reds and once with the Mariners. Terry Hayden says, can't wait to be at full strength. It may never happen. This team may never be at full strength because by the time that Bader comes back in, 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, there's a really good chance that somebody else is going to get hurt. Do we really think nobody's going to get hurt in the next month? I think that's wishful thinking. Pamela says, making up ground in this division is frustrating, or not making it up. Am I right?
Bing!
The Yankee Clipper says, Boone doesn't have to try and lose it. It comes naturally to him.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Andrew says, we got to sweep Seattle when they come to New York. Look, sweeps are tough, especially, like you said, playoff team. And Brooklyn Beauty says, every game counts, nerds. Yeah, I mean, you want to win every game. But, you know, there's this old adage in baseball that every team's going to win 50 games. Every team's going to lose 50 games. It's what you do with the other 62 games that determines your season. Brett Doyce kind of regretting the Volpe for Castillo non-trade. I think we stick with Volpe. I think he's going to be a great player. He's opening up his hips a little bit too early. He's a little bit overmatched by major league stuff, but he'll come around. I really believe that. 100% he'll come around. And a couple of more comments here. Edwin, just for anybody who missed it, reiterating that Stanton, Donaldson, and Canley are coming back on Friday. Tommy Tight Pants in the house. All right, guys, we are going to call it a night. Obviously, it's a very late night, so we're going to just kind of trim this one short. Not a lot to recap, obviously, a 1-0 game. So I will see you on Friday night. Pete Simonetti will be joining me. We're not going to do the pregame. We're just going to kind of roll out a two-man postgame. I'll see you then.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.